Science, friends, we have learned about the 4 spheres, right? Yes? Geosphere, biosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere. What was the biosphere? Life, living things. Animals, plants, humans, all of us. What was the geosphere?
Plants, animals.
No, the land. Landforms, yes.
Is like oil and stuff geosphere too?
Is what?
Is oil and fossils geosphere?
That would be part of the geosphere, yeah, because it's in that layer that's still the geosphere, the crust. Oh, I still have my test whistle on. All right, what was the hydrosphere? Water. DJ, what was the atmosphere?
The atmosphere is the oxygen and the carbon dioxide that we breathe in and out. But also,
it's more than that. That's just the troposphere. That's just the first layer. The atmosphere is
it's all
5 of the layers above the earth that protect us and keep us safe. Hi, Joes. We were just talking about how we've been talking about all 4 spheres for the past couple of months. And we've talked about how to conserve and save and protect all of those different layers and how to protect, all of it. So guess what? We're at the end of the unit. So tomorrow you have a big unit test. Today you have a big study guide, and we're going to go through all of it together so that you can take this home and study tonight for your big test tomorrow. Yes, DJ?
Were you going to show us like a colored in version? Because I can't see half the box.
Yeah, I apologize that this map is looking really bad. If you turn to page 186 in your book, it is this diagram of the carbon cycle. It just was an awful copy when I made it, and I apologize for that.
Will it be like this one that has name?
It's going to be the exact same looking thing on the test. So if you memorize where it goes on here, then you'll be fine for the test tomorrow. Now, I'm going to come over here and project so that you guys can see where everything is supposed to go on here. Okay? 186 is the diagram, but I want to go over all of this together, so give me just a second. Present my screen. Here's my seesaw. All right. In just a second, friends, to get there. Study guide. I am the sample student. All right. So theirs looks nice and pretty. I apologize, because theirs is a color copy and yours is not a color copy, just so that you guys feel bad about what they're having to work with. Theirs looks like this. It's kind of trash. Wow. Yeah, it's really bad. They can't see anything. So first off, I'm just going to go in order of the words on the word bank. Where would the word atmosphere, I'm going to make them red so they're easy to see. Where would the word atmosphere go?
Yeah, we can't see the box at the top. Atmosphere.
Where would the word atmosphere go?
And the top.
Just somewhere up top?
Yeah.
Yep, atmosphere, lovely. All right. What about, I'm just going to go across. Where is my hydrosphere at?
In the lake.
In the lake?
There is the water in the map.
The lake is over here. So your map is the same as mine. So that's why I'm doing this, so that you guys can put yours in the same spot. So hydrosphere is over here. Okay.
Do we put both of those in the boxes or just around the boxes?
Jason, Josie, what? Stop. Josie, what?
Do we put them in the boxes, like put atmosphere in the box that's in the air and put hydrosphere in the box that's...
if it's not exact, like you see how I didn't put mine exactly there, because there's going to be a couple of things that go up here and there's going to be a couple of things that go over here.
Okay.
So
I have another question.
Okay, go ahead.
So are we going to have like just looks like that, where it just shows you all the word banks, and then you can put it on there?
Tomorrow for both of you is going to look exactly like it looks today. If you are in my classroom, the test is this exact same page tomorrow. I literally just copied the page another time for tomorrow. Like I'm telling you that. Memorize what we do on here today. It's going to be the exact same piece of paper tomorrow. You just have to fill it in on your own without me walking you through it. And for you guys, it's the exact same thing I scanned in. I just copied it to the test tomorrow. So tomorrow's is going to look exactly like today's. Whichever version you have, tomorrow's on the test will look exactly like today. So if you fill this out correctly and you study it, you should be fine for tomorrow.
It will have the word bank tomorrow.
Oh, do what, Josie?
It will have the word bank tomorrow.
Yes, you'll have the word bank tomorrow. Cool. That's way too much stuff to not have a word bank. I love you. I don't like want to like purposely make you guys fail. All right, where would geosphere go? Where?
Photosynthesis.
I said, where does geosphere go?
It goes
With the
with
deer?
soul. It goes with the
I
soul.
should not put it with the deer.
I mean,
soul and all that.
Down
All
here?
that land underneath.
I can put it down here under the ground, okay? And then biosphere. Where is my biosphere?
By the trees and the deer.
By the trees and the deer is the easiest place to put it. Yeah, I agree. Right about here is fine. You guys will have to kind of put yours wherever you can fit it in on those white blanks that you have. You're going to have to write tiny. Okay? I'm also going to cross off, just to make my life easier, the ones that I've already done. All right, photosynthesis. Where does photosynthesis happen in my...
In the tree.
In the tree is the best place to put that one. And now I can cross that one off. So virtual friends, I mean, you can watch this video back, or you can be filling out your study guide on your own, obviously along with us, have your tab open at the same time. What about decomposition? Where does decomposition happen? What is decomposition?
It is the breaking. It is the process which dead organisms are break down.
All right, yeah, when dead organisms are broken down and they go into the soil. So that actually is going to go right underneath where our biosphere life is, and they're going to decompose at some point and go down into the ground. So decomposition actually goes in that little spot that's underneath the deer underground. I spelled it wrong. Don't judge me. I can't get it to move. It doesn't want to move. It's being difficult. There. Okay, I'll fix it. It's driving me bonkers. Okay, decomposition. There we go. All right. Dissolved CO2. Where does that go? The 2 got left off. My bad.
In the water.
In the water. Why is CO2, which is carbon dioxide, dissolving in the water?
Why is it CO?
Carbon and oxygen is carbon dioxide.
No, he's asking why is CO? Yeah, that's why.
Carbon dioxide is made of carbon and 2 oxygens. So it's C for carbon and O for oxygen, and a 2 because there's 2 of them. There's 1 carbon and 2 oxygens. That's what carbon dioxide is made of. Okay. All right, so carbon in the atmosphere, carbon dioxide in the atmosphere dissolves into the water, and then all of the plants underwater have the carbon that they need to breathe. Remember that from when we talked about that? Because all of those little algae and sea plants need their carbon to breathe too. Okay. I'm going to skip a little because that reminds me that the carbon dioxide actually starts up here in the air. CO2, and it literally says CO2 in air. So if you don't put the CO2 in the air when it says it in the word bank, CO2 in air, I don't know how to help you. It says CO2 in air. So that one should be like an easy one, right? Because it's literally telling you put it in the air. All right, so this is the carbon cycle. We're following this carbon around. The carbon starts in the air. It can dissolve into the CO2, into the water.
It also says dissolve CO2 in water.
Okay. Now, well, I didn't write marine plankton dissolve in water. All right, now, from the carbon in the air, some of it goes in the water, and some of it goes to the trees for photosynthesis. Now, Respiration. What is respiration?
When
That's breathing. So who's breathing? The deer, and they are breathing out carbon dioxide. So on their copy on Virtual Kids, you can see that the arrow is leaving the deer going back to the air. So that tells us that the carbon is leaving the deer. They're breathing it out back into the air so that it can be used by land plants and water plants. Make sense?
Marine plankton is obvious because marine animals are in the water.
All right, Grayson says marine plankton should be obvious because that is a marine means water. So marine plankton are the animals that are dying and decomposing in the water. So that's going to go down here. Marine plankton are dying and dissolving in the water, and they are decomposing into the soil just like decomposition over here. That leaves us with oil, natural gas, and coal, and combustion.
and rock.
Okay, oil, now look at my word list. I've got oil, natural gas, and coal is all together. So guess what? On your map, on the book, if you're following along from the book, it looks like they're in different places, but I'm fine with you just putting it down here underground in either of these two locations.
There's rock out there.
This one says rock over here. I don't have that on yours.
Yeah, we have that, Miss Fab. Look. It's right under marine.
I know, but I didn't put it in the word list, is what I'm saying. And then the last one is combustion. What is combustion? Do you guys remember that word?
Fire. Something that's burning.
Something that's burning. What would we be burning? The coal, the gas, the oil. We would be burning it, remember, to make energy in our homes. And then from there, when we burn all of those fossil fuels, it puts carbon dioxide back in the air again. So the carbon dioxide goes into the ground and turns into the fossil fuels, the coal, the oil, the natural gas, because it gets compressed for millions of years and it turns into those fossil fuels. Then in our houses, we burn the fossil fuels to use for energy and heat. And when we do that, the carbon goes back into the air and the cycle starts all over. Okay? So, did everybody get this labeled how it should be?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I know that especially for you guys in here, this looks really bad.
It does?
I mean, it's hard to read.
Yeah.
But you can picture the color version in your head. You know kind of what it's supposed to be. If you just take this home and study this and memorize it, you should be fine for tomorrow. Now, page 2, we've got another cycle that we need to label.
Which is on page...
For you guys, it's the back of the first page. This is the water cycle, and this is not in your book. I didn't pull this picture from your book. This one I just pulled from the internet. But you've got your word bank, and tomorrow, yes, you will have a word bank again. Where does, jump around, and this one I got all 4 spheres on here again. Now I'm going to change my words to blue because, well, it's the water cycle, so why not?
Miss Fab, after this, there's like a water cycle, what is this? A water cycle go noodle. Can we do it?
Oh, what page is that?
It's 188.
On 188 is the water cycle in your book, but it is not 185. But it is not the same picture I have here. So be careful, because this is the picture that will be on your test tomorrow, okay? Where does condensation go? Hi, put that down. I need you to fill out the study guide, not show me a picture in a book. Guys, pay attention and stay with me. Where does condensation go? I'm waiting on somebody to tell me. Fiona, where does condensation go?
It would be up in the skies in the clouds.
Where are the clouds? So this arrow that's turning from clouds and going this way, that's your condensation right here.
We can't even see the clouds. Where are your clouds?
Okay, you got a cloud. There's clouds up there, okay?
I drew a cloud.
All right, great.
I did too.
All right, where does evaporation go?
The sun.
It goes in the sun?
Water.
Hang on. Whoa! I'm looking for people raising their hands and being polite. Josie, thank you for raising your hand. Where is evaporation?
Where the squiggle lines go up to the clouds.
All right, yep, where the squiggle lines are going up to the clouds, that's your evaporation. Good job,
Cross
Joe.
off.
Okay. Accumulation. What is accumulation?
Where
Jason, what's accumulation?
the water from the clouds go back down.
Nope.
Oh,
Precipitation.
That's precipitation that you're talking about. What is accumulation, Lily?
It's like where the water settles and it's getting ready to evaporate.
Yep, where the where the water is kind of settled. You might see puddles or in this picture, where would you like to put accumulation?
In the water.
In the water. Yep.
like in the river.
You can put it kind of in the river, you can put it on the lake, but this is clearly where the water has accumulated. It's all landed and it's piled up here. Okay.
Precipitation is where's the rain?
All right, precipitation.
We don't have any rain.
You don't have rain on yours. Your picture's the exact same as theirs. The rain is actually falling over here on the
I
mountain.
see mine.
I see it.
So precipitation is the rain cloud. It's going to go over here.
I already said that. Wait, you need to
So
cross off
our-
accumulation
In
with
our
the pin.
book, it's like the
All right.
exact same.
What about groundwater? What
I don't
is
know.
groundwater?
It's the water that is in the ground like spring water.
It's the water that's underground. So where is that going to go?
Underground.
These little stream things over
Yeah.
here.
Oh, I
Okay.
didn't even see that.
Okay.
You can't write there. There's no.
All right, and now we just need to label our 4 spheres. So now we've got atmosphere. Where's that going to go?
Next to the sun.
Next to the sun. It can go anywhere up here. Okay,
On the
atmosphere.
mountain.
Okay. Where is my hydrosphere going to go?
Water. Like
I want to do
Okay, the lake is what I'm hearing. We'll put that down here.
other
Where is my geosphere?
on the mountain.
All right, I'm hearing mountain is a good one. That's a good landform that we can use. And then finally we have biosphere. Do we have anything alive in this picture?
Yes.
The bushes.
Bushes. I can put them on these bushes, wherever I would like.
What about
All right.
the rock at the
We
bottom?
can't
What
even see our labels. Okay, I'm done. I can't. Like on the bushes, I can't see my labels.
Do your best.
This
Okay.
is going to be a very short test. So far.
All right. Next, we've got layers of the earth.
This is easy.
All right. What is this box here? Let's see. We'll do brown now since we're layers of the earth. I'm going to go core. I'm going to start with core. Which one is pointing to the core?
The
Kendall.
Second from bottom.
Thank you. All right. What about my crust? Which one is pointing to crust? Riley.
The bottom.
The bottom is pointing to the crust. Where is my upper mantle?
Very top.
Very top, I heard somebody say. And so then that leaves lower mantle
Wait, what?
here.
This should be easy for everyone, I think. Yeah, hopefully. I think everyone will do awesome. Outer core.
Also, yeah, there's inner core and outer core.
On this one, we're just going to go with core, period, the end. No, we're not going to divide it into inner and outer.
Okay.
Okay? Fair enough? Don't know why, just is the way it is. Also, you'll notice the first time we did this worksheet, I made you put if it was solid or liquid. Do you have to do that this time?
No.
Not right here, you don't. All right. Everybody with me so far?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
All right.
Will those signs be up there anyway?
Those signs will not be here tomorrow. No.
That basically just tells us the answer, doesn't it?
For the inner core and outer core, one of them is liquid and one of them
But you don't have to.
Miss
Yes.
Bab.
But on here, you don't have to put that.
Here we don't.
You don't have to
numbers
put that
here.
on the test.
We
Okay.
don't, Miss Bab, we don't have the top where it says list the layers of the atmosphere and orders. Yeah, we do.
Turn your page over, Z.
It's at the bottom of the page. I'm on this page. You're on the wrong page.
We're on this page.
Look, you're on the wrong.
Okay, Zeke's going to figure out his life here in a second. All right,
Yeah.
list the layers of the atmosphere in order and tell what their word meaning is.
What? So will that be on the test?
Yeah.
List now, from here on out, the questions aren't exactly the same. They might be worded differently. They might be fill in the blank. They might be multiple choice. They might be matching. I'm not going to tell you. The diagrams that we just did are going to be exactly the same tomorrow. But from here on out, you need to know the information and be prepared for it to be multiple choice matching, true, false, fill in the blank, any of it. I'm not going to tell you any more than that other than you need to know this stuff. Okay? Fair enough?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you do need to know the layers of the atmosphere in order. We talked about this a lot, and for right now today, the poster's still over here. So what is the first layer called closest to us? Troposphere. And what does troposphere mean? Does anybody remember?
The weather.
Oh, no. Troposphere means
Weather.
weather. I'm just going to do it like that. Okay? Troposphere doesn't mean weather. It's where the weather happens, but tropo actually means change. And it's because the weather is always
Changing.
changing.
So could we call it change in weather?
Yeah. I'm going to put quotes around change because that's what tropo actually means. Okay? And we call it change because this is the layer where weather happens. And so it's always changing. This layer is always changing. Does that make sense? You guys remember talking about that? All right. The next layer is the stratosphere. Why do we call this layer? What does stratos mean? Kendall, what does stratos mean?
It means to protect us from the UV rays.
Nope.
That's the ocean.
Stratos means Zeke.
Well, I think there's stratus clouds, and those are like wavy ones, kind of.
Yeah.
Layers.
Layers. Stratos means layers. And we call it this because this layer has the ozone layer that protects us.
Now, mesosphere.
Hang on, let me catch up. All right, let me make me a big old box. That's not what I want to.
You should just write mesosphere.
All right, mesosphere. Think about, please stop shouting. Think about music. What does meso mean?
Moderate or middle?
Moderate, middle.
Middle layer.
Middle, why do we call this meso? Because it is the middle layer.
The thermal means heat.
Okay, now I've got my fourth layer, which is the what? Raise your hand. Cameroon, I haven't heard from you. What's the fourth layer? Do you remember by chance? You guys don't have the handy poster in front of you, but do you remember? If not, it's okay.
Is it thermosphere?
Yep. Thermosphere. Do you remember why we call it the thermosphere?
Because that's where temperature changes.
It's the hottest layer. Thermo means heat, and it is the hottest layer. It is the hottest layer.
And then
All right.
exosphere.
And the final layer, somebody tell me.
Exosphere.
Exosphere, Sophie. What does exo mean?
Radioactive.
No, it has nothing to do with radioactive. What does exo mean, Jason?
I kind of think of exoskeleton.
Exoskeleton? Outer. It's yeah, if you have an exoskeleton, your skeleton is on the outside of your body. Exo means outer, and this is the outer layer. All right, everybody.
We should leave that out.
Okay, those are your 5 layers.
Now let's go.
Now, let's rewind our little brains. What are the 3 purposes? There are 3 things that the atmosphere does for us.
Protect
3
us from
things. Hang on, you are not raising your hand. Lily, I saw your hand first. And then I will go to whoever virtual. Lily, what does the atmosphere do for us?
It protects us from the UV rays.
All right, so number 1, protects from UV rays, ultraviolet rays. Okay. 2, what does it do? Hang on, who was virtual? Raise their hand. I don't know, somebody.
She stole mine.
Oh, okay. Anybody remember any of the other things it does? Zeke.
It holds in heat.
Holds in heat to keep us warm.
Well, we have to list all of these or just.
No, you need to know all 3 tomorrow.
Okay.
Parker Pooh, what's the last one?
Keeps the air inside and the carbon dioxide.
The air we breathe. Provides air we breathe. Could we live if any of these 3 things disappeared?
No.
No, if it did not protect us from UV rays, we would get burned up and die.
Yep.
If it did not hold in heat, we would freeze to death.
Yeah, and the ozone.
And if it didn't give us air, we really wouldn't last very long at all.
The ozone is going away.
All right, those 3 things. Yes, you need to know all 3 things and be able to list all 3 things on your own. This test is going to be a doozy, guys. Be prepared. All right, here is where I want you to tell me if they are solid, semi-solid, or liquid. And I have them going from inner all the way to the crust. So inner core is
Solid.
solid is what they're telling me. Is that true?
Yes. I have the answer. Keep
Yes.
next.
All right. Solid inner core. What about the outer core?
Liquid.
Go ahead, virtual friend. I don't see who. Josie.
It's liquid.
Liquidio.
Oh,
All right. Outer core, liquid. Lower mantle.
Liquid.
Jason, lower mantle.
Semi-solid.
This is the one that is the semi-solid one.
Liquid.
All right. Upper mantle, Kaylee.
Solid.
Solid. And the crust, which is where we are.
Solid.
Solid, thank goodness. It would be hard to get around if it was liquid.
That would be bad.
Well, some of it is liquid.
All right. Raise your hand for this one. Bio means what, DJ?
It means life. It also has what the biosphere contains.
All right, the bio means life. And what does the biosphere contain?
It contains all things that are alive.
All living
organisms.
things.
All living organisms.
Yep. You could be very precise like Grayson and say all living organisms. Okay, this one's hard to see on my screen. It says the distribution of water is, hang on, I can't even see it.
90.
On Earth is something percent salt water and something percent fresh water.
No, it's
All right, what percent is salt?
99.
No.
97, yeah, 97 or 98.
97% salt,
No,
3% of sweat.
3%
of that is
fresh.
frozen. Yeah, what is that?
Now, don't get confused because one of the things we said there's 1%. What is the 1%?
1% is what we can actually drink.
1% is what we can actually use because 2% of the fresh water is where? Ice. It's polar ice caps, guys. Okay, so this is the one at the very bottom, number 6, virtual friends that you can't really see very well. Tomorrow it won't be like this and it won't be cut off on the bottom like that because this one isn't a fill. I can tell you that this one is not a fill in the blank on the test tomorrow.
Oh, it's a.
I don't know what it is.
The geosphere includes.
All right, the geosphere includes I like to change the colors and make them look like they belong to what sphere they go to. What does my lovely geosphere include?
I don't know.
Don't know. All right, thank you for your honesty. Fiona, give it a go.
All solid things.
All solid
Nope.
non-living organisms.
This is not the geosphere. She said all solid things, but I say no because my desk is not part of the geosphere.
No, all solid non-living organisms, right?
I'm not even going to go with that. We could be more specific. Kane.
Like the crust, the upper mantle, and then maybe a little bit of the water.
Land.
But it's mostly liquid
Geo
down
is
there.
like
Crust,
Geo-
upper
land.
mantle,
It's land.
upper
Land.
mantle,
Land.
and what?
land.
Land.
Mantle, a little bit.
Landforms. Okay.
Which landform
Crust
is
And upper mantle. Only the top two layers are considered part of the geosphere. And landforms. So whether it's the ground we walk on, mountains, hills, canyons, any landform. Rocks. Do not get confused though, because some of you want to say that the grass is part of the geosphere. Is grass part of the geosphere?
No, biosphere and geosphere.
It is biosphere only.
Because
It's alive.
But it uses a hydrosphere.
It uses the crust. It grows on the crust, but it is not part. It is using the geosphere. It isn't the geosphere. Okay.
But
So if you were given a question on the test that said, which of these is part of the geosphere? And one of them said trees and grass, would those be part of the geosphere?
Miss Fab, the planets are actually using all the
No.
spheres. They're using the ground, they're using the water, and the sun. Well, the
Air.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. That's the whole point of this, is to see that all living things need all four spheres to work. Would we be alive without all four spheres? Can we live without water?
Nope.
Can we live without air?
Actually, wait. I
Couldn't we live without land though?
Could we live without land and gravity?
But plants could not.
Okay.
we could live without.
You would
solid-
lose your body mass if you didn't have gravity and the ability to work out.
It would,
Okay.
there's like this rule of three I heard. 3 minutes without air, 3 days without food, water, and 3 weeks without food, and then we would die.
Kane says this rule of 3, and he is correct. 3 minutes without air would kill us. 3 days without water would kill us. And 3 weeks without food would kill us. Okay? But geosphere, write it down so you have this for your test tomorrow. Geosphere includes the crust, the upper mantle, and landforms. Okay? Is a river a landform?
a riverbed is.
A riverbed where the river actually flows through, but the water itself, no. All right. Now think to
Last week.
okay.
No, energy would be yellow.
Alternative energy. That'll be hard to see. We'll go orange. Alternative energy.
Why not go blue?
List 2 forms. What is alternative energy?
Solar energy and nuclear.
Okay, Zeke is giving me solar. I'm going to list all of them and you can pick from it. Solar. Zeke said nuclear. Give me a different one. Somebody else.
Hydro.
Hydroelectric.
Biomass.
Zeke, stop. Zeke, stop. Thank you for giving me a lot. What else?
Hydroelectric.
You gave me hydroelectric. I typed it.
I know.
There's that one machine that keeps heat.
Windmills.
Okay, Zeke knows all of them. He's going to be an electrical engineer. Thermoelectric, and I'm still waiting for one more. Wind.
How? Wind energy.
Okay. Why are you saying them after I type them? Thank you for reading for us.
You never writed energy. All you wrote was
Why would I write the word energy? It says, what are the alternative energies? I wouldn't just write energy. That would not be specific enough at all.
Energy.
Energy is not an alternative energy. It is energy.
All
All right. Why? There's 2 parts to this question, so look carefully. List 2 forms of alternative energy. So you only have to list 2 of these.
Wow, I listed all.
Why is alternative energy important? So this is the second part of this
We run out
question.
of fossil fuels, no, we don't have any energy, and this energy helps conserve the fossil fuels.
Okay. Zeke said These help us
Because they're
conserve
renewable, they're
fossil
renewable.
fuels. They
They're
are
renewable sources.
renewable resources. What is one thing? Renewable resources means we can recreate them quickly.
Enough to.
They are also what? What is another good thing about these alternative energy
They don't
sources?
give us as much as pollution. Like
They
smoke
don't-
and
they don't-
pollution. Get much pollution.
Less pollution.
Well, we can't really say that about the nuclear.
Nuclear could destroy us all, yes, if it went bad. But if you're doing nuclear energy properly, it is the cleanest form, I
Yeah, with
believe.
all the nuclear bombs on the planet, we could blow up our planet, so we don't want to
Yeah,
try
no.
that.
All right. So that is a lot. Get that written down, guys, and then I'm going to shrink it down.
Use it.
They help us conserve fossil fuels. They are renewable resources, and they are less pollution. Okay? Less pollution. All right? That was a lot. Making this small enough to fit here.
How am I
Okay.
gonna read that?
How can we, well, I said write it down and then I'll shrink it. You were supposed to be writing it down already, dude. How can we conserve the atmosphere? What's one way to conserve the atmosphere? Save the atmosphere.
Do things that take up less pollution.
Grayson,
Electric cars.
electric cars. How do
So,
those help the
Tesla.
atmosphere?
Electric
Tesla.
They don't give out as much pollution unless they run out of their battery power. Which
All right, less pollution. All right. Electric
car.
cars
Tesla car.
save atmosphere. Let's see, who is that? Josie, give me something.
You could pick up trash so that it doesn't pollute the geosphere.
Okay.
Earth Day.
So I'll say
Earth
don't
Day.
litter. Helps the geosphere.
Not littering helps the geosphere.
Right.
That doesn't make sense. Don't litter helps the geosphere.
Not littering.
It's bad grammar.
Okay, okay. Don't litter! Jason, stop.
Okay.
Not littering helps
Wait.
the geosphere.
No
Jason.
littering. No littering.
All right, and how are we going to save the hydrosphere? DJ.
We can use less chemicals on farms, and we can also, we can clean up the oceans.
Use less chemicals that run off.
Save the dog.
Okay.
Save the turtle.
Into the atmosphere. All right, less littering also helps because you don't have those like all the plastic in the ocean. Okay. What? So recycle.
Wait, what?
Okay. Helps hydrosphere.
Stop doing nuclear stuff.
All right.
Stop doing stuff that makes pollution.
That run off into the atmosphere. What am I talking about? That's supposed to say
And you
hydrosphere.
also have to say recycling.
Hydrospherosphere. What?
Recycling.
Hydrospherosphere.
I just hit you.
Recycle.
Wait, or recycle helps the
helps hydrosphere. Well, helps all of,
recycling helps.
recycling helps
the-
all of them, really.
What about the geosphere though?
Okay, well then get rid of hydro.
We said not littering, and I'm going to also say recycling here, too. Okay?
Helps just the
Sam.
geosphere.
The problem with electric cars is that the more they save lives.
Hang on.
So the more they sell, the more trees they cut down because they have to make more money for Elon Musk. They cut down trees because money is paid. What? No.
They're not printing that much more money.
Well,
Thank you, Laura.
Money isn't
Okay,
out of the world.
virtual friends. Josie, you raised your hand.
I just wanted to know, is it okay if I just put electric cars? It helps the atmosphere, and don't litter. It helps the geosphere and hydrosphere. Is that okay if that's all I put?
All right. Why is conservation of our resources important?
to save the world.
I know this one.
Jason.
Because we can't make it fast enough that we use it. We use it too fast. We'll run out of it before we gain more.
Okay.
I
So-
forgot what that was called.
Non-renewable resources.
Yes.
Sources
No, it's
can't be made. When they are gone,
They can't
they
be
are
made fast enough that we use it. We use it faster than we
can't
can
be
make it.
made. All right, I'll be more specific. As fast as we
use it.
use them. When they are gone, they are gone.
Yeah, that's as simple as it gets.
All right. How does water become salty? Does anybody remember this one? Oh no.
I got it right.
How does
Because
water
fish-
become salty?
Fish pee.
No, not fish pee.
Indians
Nice
put
try.
Indians
Oh.
put salt in
We did a whole experiment about this.
the minerals in the ground are
Fiona, how does water become salty?
There are minerals in the ground that when the ocean and all the rivers connect to the ocean, they run through and they hit the ocean and all the salt from the ground comes up and it makes the ocean salty.
Wait, remember the rain has like a tiny amount of salt in it?
And yes, Zeke remembered also that rain actually does have a teensy, oh my Lord, where'd my box go? Come here.
Come here, doggy.
Minerals in the ground, such as salt. Water runoff carries those minerals to the rivers and oceans.
So do clouds.
So do what?
Clouds and rain.
Clouds are, what?
I don't know. I'm just saying things.
Clouds don't carry salt.
No. All right, here we go.
Rain does.
Maybe
According to
Zeke.
All right, minerals in the ground, the water runoff. Remember when we did the experiment and I poured blue water through the dirt and it ran out
It needs to be bluer.
on the other end?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you should have yelled it yellow.
Yos.
All right.
Yos.
Yeah.
Why?
Yos.
Uh-oh, that's supposed to be blue.
You should
Okay.
have yos.
Class.
Yes,
Calm
yes,
down.
yes, yes.
Why do the plates in the upper mantle move slightly from time to time? So now we're back in the geosphere. Raise your hand.
They bump into each
Raise your hand. Maggie.
Because like, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Earth's axle?
Has nothing to do with Earth's axis.
Oh.
That was when we learned about space.
Axle.
We don't have an axle.
wrong.
The
Aw.
car does. Okay, Zeke.
So
Oh.
like we learned that the plates are always like moving very slow. When they bump into each other sometimes it makes earthquakes and they go the other way.
That's not what I asked.
No.
Why do they move from time to time? DJ.
There's the molten it's the core floating on the under it. The lower mantle the floating on lava is molten lava. So they're floating on
They
lava.
rest on the molten lava from the lower mantle. It's basically like a bunch of little rock islands floating
Or both.
on the lava below. They rest on the molten lava from the lower mantle.
This is gonna be a lot of writing.
How do you know?
Now remember, this is a lot of fill in the blank today. Tomorrow, some of these are going to turn into fill in the blank, multiple
True or
choice,
false? True or
matching.
True or
Okay,
false?
so this is what you need to know. If you know all of this stuff in and out,
Yeah.
you are golden for tomorrow. You will get an A+.
Aww.
And like I said, these diagrams are going to be exactly the same. It's literally the same pieces of paper and I printed them twice.
Can I get
Once for the study guide and once for the test. So it's the exact same diagrams, exact same. These other pages with the questions are, I don't know why you guys are talking when I am. The rest of them, they might be a little bit different, but as long as you know and understand this information, you should be set. Now, later this afternoon, you are going to have time to study with one another. We've got a lot going on. So what I will say is, writing this afternoon, we are not going to be using as writing time. I've got something new that we're going to be doing, getting set up. And then if we have time, you guys will have time to study science this afternoon together before you go home. I highly recommend that these study guides go home and you study them tonight so that you know this stuff in and out tomorrow, okay?
ECP kids do their work.
ECP kids, yeah, you guys were gone this morning. You'll have catch up to do too. Josie, I don't think Cam, I don't think that applies to you since you guys see. Okay, all right. That's what I've got for today for science. So I will see you guys at 12:30 at our normal writing time. We just won't be doing a writing lesson today. We're not starting any new papers today. So that's what I got.
Bye.
Bye, guys. We'll see you in a little bit.
Bye.